All right. Welcome to Thailand. This is our beautiful villa that we rented for 4 weeks. And we can stay 6 weeks before we either need to do a visa run or maybe we go to Bali afterwards. I have a lot of things I want to share with you this month. A lot has happened in February. So let's start from the beginning, maybe. So at the beginning of February, we had Tita, my mom's dog, for 1 week because my two brothers, who usually now take care of her, they were snowboarding. And what I realized is that spending time every day in the forest is really, really healthy for me. It gives me time to think and reflect, and also it's time in nature, which is just, healing in itself. And also what I kind of already knew is that without, a dog where you have to go out, it's quite difficult to make that a fixed part of the day. So I'm still working on that. Then, we started. So I'm gonna first share a few things, just like random things, kind of that happened, and then talk about the business stuff a little bit, and then I decided to share some medicine journeys that I was a part of, that I reflected on, and some other insights I had. So we started last month also to empty the house of my mother. We gave a whole bunch of stuff just to the rubbish. There's a service in Stuttgart where they pick it up for you. Because my mom kept everything, you could, whatever, like a piece of wood that she might need at some point to repair something, and so we had a lot of stuff going out. And then we also spent one day going to a flea market, my two brothers and me, and Yara was there, and Nadina as well. No, was Nadina there? No, she came later. Just we. It was fun. We didn't sell too much stuff, but it was still like a cool experience. And then, not long before we left Germany, so we arrived in Thailand literally like 2 days ago, and that's also why I'm a little late with this monthly update. Usually I really try to do it on the 1st, but anyway, it doesn't matter. So then a few days before we left, I think, my mom's girlfriends came over, and we just spent some time together, and we told them if they want to keep any of her stuff, as a what is it called, like an object to remind them of her, or if they need any clothes, because my mom also has a lot of clothes, and we need to really empty the whole house, because what's going to happen in the next few months is that my two brothers, they will continue to empty the house and then find a family who wants to rent the house for a few years at least. So that was good, and there was one thing that I wanted to share, just an insight and maybe a reminder for whoever is watching this. So one of the girlfriends of my mom, she's super amazing, has a really kind and open energy, and she wanted to bring some pizza, and then I said well, I don't eat gluten and also lactose, not really, and she made a little fun of it, but not in a harmful way. But what it showed me is, the way that she spoke about it is, she thinks, well, I can eat everything, I'm doing fine. But what she doesn't know, what none of us really know, is how much greater we could feel, right? We're used to a certain level of physical health, mental health, emotional health, and then it's quite easy to assume that that's just how it is and how good it could get. But for most of us, it could be a lot better. We can have more energy, more focus, more clarity, more creativity, less brain fog after we eat something. And so I think it's always good to remember that wherever you are in your life right now, that's not the end of how great it can be. and yeah, it takes effort and time and energy to research and try different things and experiment, but in my opinion, it's very worth it. Another thing that I did is I took all of my old journals. I think I had like 8 journals, and I digitized them. And it was really cool because first I was like, okay, I want to send them to a company who's doing it for me, but I researched a little bit. It's quite expensive. And then I remembered that in the library, the university library, there's those book scanner machines. And so I basically just did it all myself. It took, I think, like maybe 2 hours. And now I have everything digital, which is cool because the lifestyle that we're having right now is we're traveling, so I can't take a bunch of old journals with me. And also now with like moving out of my mom's place and her not being alive anymore and living there, now I don't really have a base. My 2 brothers, they live in Stuttgart, but they have their own like apartments where I can't just go there and sleep there for a few weeks. So that's a new feeling to really not have this home base anymore, this house where I grew up in. And so basically I have all of my stuff with me other than one box that is this size that I stored at my brother's. Okay, and then so we came to Thailand. It was my first time traveling first class on a plane. It was a 10-hour flight. It was super beautiful. The food was a little disappointing, but you can just lay down like in a bed in the plane and sleep, and it was really amazing. And then when we arrived, so we were deciding between going to Bali or going to Thailand. And we know people in both of those places, and what is important to us right now is to just be surrounded by other like-minded people, entrepreneurs, people who want to grow and expand who they are. And the people that we know here is a couple, and they are super amazing. I didn't know them like so well. I still don't know them super well, but we knew that we wanted to spend time with them, and they invited us to just have a dinner at their place with a few other people. And that's basically how we landed. We arrived, and then the same day in the evening we spent time with them, and it was super amazing to just be welcomed like this and to connect to amazing people, because that's really what it's all about. You can be in the most beautiful paradise place, if you don't know cool people, it kind of sucks. So I'm realizing that more and more, that people are what makes a place feel great. Mostly, right? There are other things like the weather is beautiful and stuff like that, but very important. Okay, so next, business update. So with all of this stuff, planning, packing, emptying the house, everything moved a little bit slower than I wanted it to be, but it's okay. One big change in terms of kind of like branding and the language that I want to use is I went from subconscious reprogramming to subconscious reconditioning. And that just really resonates with me, because we're all conditioned, right, through our parents, our society, our environment, to believe certain things. And all of those stories that we then hold in our subconscious mind, they more or less dictate how we feel, how we behave, and the results that we get in our lives. So this inner work that I'm so passionate about, that I want to teach to as many people as possible, is really about taking ownership again over our subconscious mind, right? It's not our fault what kind of conditioning we got, but it's our responsibility to change it and have more empowering, more liberating stories to navigate life. And then something super new since like yesterday is that Yara and me started considering talking about, maybe we can do something together. Maybe we can have a business that we both work on. And for me, that got sparked by observing this couple or talking to them, Daria and Barak, and they're running a business together that they just recently started. And yeah, I think it could be super amazing because Daria and me, we're spending so much time together, and if we have something that is the center of our, business that we both work on, I think it could be super cool. So maybe later today, maybe tomorrow, we're gonna sit down and brainstorm a little bit what that could look like. Yeah, and also what is just crazy insane. Diara and Daria, they have almost the same name, and there are so many parallels in their lives. It's fucking weird. It's mind-blowing. It's like, that's not a coincidence. There's so many parallels from, just a lot. Maybe Diara's gonna make a video about it at some point. Yeah. Cool. Okay. Yeah. So my intention was and is to offer something this month for this program, and even if it's just like a one-time workshop, or I run this program one time, and I don't know. It depends on what we discuss, how I continue with that, I guess. But yeah, here in Thailand, I want to really make some progress and put myself and this work out there and teach it to some people. Okay, now I'm kind of just sharing a realization that I had. Let me quickly check the timing here. All right, let's continue. The battery died, and now I have to. Yeah. Anyway, let's continue. So. Okay, I'm gonna start with like what happened this month, but then I'm gonna explain like a bigger thing that I observed that is, maybe quite intense. So I met, of course, my friends in Germany, and before I left, we met again, and I observed that like the first time I met one of my friends, I was like, wow, he has just a perfect life, just got a baby and like a cool apartment. And then when we met again, like he shared a little bit more, and it's like, oh, he's struggling. There's like a couple of things that are really not optimal, and of course, that's normal, and nothing is wrong with that. We all have our challenges, but the point here is that I see something, or maybe someone also presents themselves in a certain way, or it's just a situation, and maybe it's also a projection, right? And what happens with me, or what can happen, is like I can feel a little maybe envious or jealous, and just be like, or even if I'm super happy for this person, it's a wrong impression, right? It's like what happens when we look at people on social media, can also happen in real life, like, oh, your life is so great and my life is not, and da-da-da. When in reality, there's a lot of stuff maybe beneath the surface, and we really can't know another person just by, seeing them or interacting with them in a short amount of time. Even if they share a lot and they're super open and vulnerable, I think it's important to realize that we don't know like what's really going on for them, their darkest thoughts and all of that stuff. And now I want to go a little bit like beyond just what happened last month, but it happened a little bit earlier, like a few years ago, when I was it started when I was in Bali. When I first came to Bali, I was living with a bunch of people in a villa, and one of those guys was also a coach. Yeah, everyone else was doing some other stuff, and he was also a coach. And we got along really well. He's a cool dude. And then he went back to the US at some point, and I just followed his social media a little bit, and he was sharing like how much money he made with his coaching, and I think he even started later than me. And I was like, oh man, like I wish I would make so much money. And then I think he bought a camper van or something, which is also something that I wanted to do. And I was jealous a little bit of this guy. And then, like a few months later, he took his own life. And when I found that out, I mean, I was super sad, of course. And I was also shocked that I was sitting here assuming that he is living his best life, and I feel jealous of this person. And in reality, you know, something was so terrible, and he felt so hopeless that he committed suicide. And yeah, for me that was kind of a wake-up call to just, you know, it's, in any way it's a waste of time to feel jealous of other people and envious, but also we might feel jealous of someone, projecting onto them how amazing their life is, you know, when in reality it might be very different. Yeah. So also, you know, check in on your people, and don't assume that they're all good just because they say so, or they, you know, I don't know, post a photo where they're smiling. Yeah, cool. So the last part of this video is just going to be me sharing about some psychedelic or medicine journeys that I was kind of facilitating, you know, even though I'm not a trained, I don't know, shaman or anything like that, or a therapist, but I do have my own experiences. And when there's someone that is open to explore, and I feel safe, or that I can hold a safe container, and, you know, making sure the set and setting and everything is correct, then sometimes that's what I'm doing. The first journey was a ketamine journey. And ketamine is a very interesting substance. It's a very safe substance that's being used for many years in kind of the medical field. And it's also being used for treatment of depression. But as I understand, it can be used in lower doses for that. And then also, of course, people use it for like recreational purposes, right? For partying or whatever. And ketamine doesn't last very long. And a lot of people who use it for partying, they just take a little bit, right? And it will make you feel maybe a little bit more euphoric, and then you can take a little bit more, and then it kind of distorts your balance, and you feel like you're drunk a little bit, your sense of balance at least. But what I'm interested in is really going on an inner journey with that. So you take a higher amount, you lay down, you have, like, it's dark, you listen to music, the music is crucial, and also what kind of music you use. And then you just lay there, but inside you're going on this journey, and you might see certain people, or for me it's usually more abstract. And so when I was facilitating that, the interesting part that I wanted to point out here and share is it's very normal and good to have respect of substances like this, right? And not to treat it lightly, because they can be extremely powerful, and also the experiences can be difficult, right? You can experience fear or like trauma coming up. So it's good to have respect and to be mindful. But so what happened was, like, the decision was made from a sober state, like, cool, yes, I want to explore that. And because there was no starting time, no fixed starting time, and I didn't say, like, okay, we have to start now, the person was in this phase right before we wanted to start in a very long time, right? Kind of like internally debating, like, do I want to do it? Is this the right time or not? And just feeling a lot of nervousness. And I realized that this is what we do quite often in life, where, you know, the most kind of quote-unquote painful or difficult experience is just before it starts. And then we're in it. You know, for example, when I would give a presentation, even in school, I was so fucking nervous every time I had to speak in front of the group. But then once I did it, it was fine. But so the moments before, that was the most difficult. In school though, I came to class, and then maybe someone else was giving a presentation first, and then it was my turn. The teacher's like, Jan, now you start. But if you don't have some external starting point, I think it can happen that we stay in that difficult phase for so long, and it's not really, valuable. It's really just we are in this state of nervousness, whereas, it would be better if we already made the decision, we reflected, and we're like, yep, I know this is what I want to do, than to just start doing it sooner rather than later. So that was just the one piece that I wanted to share about this experience. The other one was with MDMA. So me and my partner, we both have some experience with MDMA, and I've heard for a long time, and I'm following this whole research process, that MDMA-assisted psychotherapy is one of the most powerful, if not the most powerful way to heal trauma. And I really hope that soon this will be available for people. Like right now they're going through, I think, phase 3 trials so that the FDA approves this as a medicine. Specifically, I guess at the beginning for the treatment of PTSD, but I think in the future people will use this substance in combination with therapy or coaching to really just improve their lives. And so I read a lot about it, I listened to podcasts about it, and then there is also from MAPS, which is the Multidisciplinary Association for Psychedelic Studies. They are kind of behind all of that progress, and it's a really amazing organization, and they have a protocol how to do MDMA-assisted therapy, and it's a protocol for therapists, and it tells them what kind of frameworks to use, what kind of setting, the music, what kind of beliefs. And one of the beliefs, or maybe the main belief, is that we all have a healing intelligence inside of us. And what that means is the therapist is not supposed to be so directive and, to be like, this is what you need to do, let's talk about this. But he's or she is more there to just hold the space and maybe guide a little bit, bring the person back to the topics that they wanted to talk about and the trauma that they wanted to heal, but then just leave it up to this healing intelligence to guide the process and to see, okay, maybe this is what's needed now. Maybe it's some other music, maybe it's some movement, maybe it's to talk about this story, and then just see where it goes. So, because we already have a lot of trust in our relationship, and and I think my coaching experience also helped a lot, but it went really, really well, and I could witness directly this healing transformation, and not only in the session but also afterwards. So it was incredible, and I feel like using psychedelics or substances like MDMA will play a huge role in the evolution of humanity and in healing all of that trauma, that collective trauma, that individual trauma that we experienced. So if you have any questions around that, or you just want to talk about it, or anything else that I mentioned, like always, feel free to hit me up. And that's it for this month. I'm really excited about spending time in Thailand now and being in a warm climate again, and it's sunny and there's amazing food everywhere. Okay, that's it. Peace.